Gleich geht es weiter. Gleich geht's los. Gleich geht's los. No, no, no. So. 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 Gleich geht's los. Ich mache nur gerade noch ein paar Sachen fertig. So. Beziehungsweise sieht das so aus, wie ich das will. Ja, sieht so aus, wie ich das will. Geht sofort los. So. Moment. So. So. So, Dalle. Hallöle, Servus. Sehr gut, Daumen hoch dafür, dass du es durchgespielt hast. So, jetzt kann ich auch auf den Chat achten. Ich habe jetzt nur noch ein paar Sachen gemacht. So. bevor der Fall aufgelöst wird im Kevin Garden. Und hier ist eine fliegende Nerve. Nervende Fliege. Ja, kenn ich ja noch. Blöde Fliege. So, Dolle. Wo waren wir stehen geblieben? Finden Sie heraus, wie die tödlichen Pflanzen simuliert werden könnten. Okay, also nochmal zurück zum Garten. Okay. Let's go to the cave garden. Mal schauen, wie lange dieser Fall noch geht. Und ich werde hoffentlich, sagt heute dann Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments spenden und kann mir dann bis Dienstag überlegen, was ich als nächstes anfange zu spielen. Oder ob ich mich in meine eigene Knechtschaft mit Outlast begebe. So, erstmal mit allen 3 Personen reden.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
Okay.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Tür aufmachen. Ist locked.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa, something, or Lear, Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
Stimmt, die Setzung ist gut.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Das hört sich an wie eine Androhung. Wir sehen uns später wieder. So, ich glaube, hier... Also es gibt noch 2 oder 3 Sachen, die ich hier machen kann. So. Die war, glaube ich, hier drin. Ja, da ist sie.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11. when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Okay.
Thank you, miss.
Einige Zeit später.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
Hä? Und jetzt? Ah. Moment. Das war's ja, oder? Und bam.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
Jo. Auf zum Ventilationsraum. Into the ventilation system. Willkommen in der Wüste. Oder zum Plan gehen vielleicht erstmal. Was soll ich jetzt machen? Ich stehe gerade ein bisschen auf dem Schlauch. Ah, Bildschirm ist gerade ausgegangen bei mir. Moment. Ausgeschaltet. Moment. Ich sehe gerade gar nichts. So, jetzt ist mein Fernseher wieder an. So. Was soll ich jetzt machen? Finden Sie heraus, wie es simuliert werden könnte. Ah, sind wirklich alle weg. Kann ich es doch einfach nehmen? Nee. Hä?
Here it is. Cylinder Records.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
So, da war der Mord.
We need to visit the Colonial Collection.
Zum Kolonialhaus. Also da, wo ich weggerannt bin. Also hätten wir einfach drin bleiben müssen. Sollen, okay.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Okay. Moment. Irgendwann muss ich noch da. Komm raus. Ja, ist hier.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system. We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Kann ich das irgendwie anmachen? Scheinbar nicht. Da kann ich nichts machen.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room. The power is off. The engine has stopped. The power is on. The ventilation system is working.
Okay.
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
Okay.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
Gut.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Hamish ist schuldig. Aber das ist noch nicht das Ende, wie es aussieht. Da gibt es nämlich noch Hinweise. Das sagt mir, da kommt noch irgendwas.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
Da irgendeine Information fehlt uns. Auf zu Scotland Yard, my dear.
Mr. Holmes?
Servus.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
Ich glaube nicht, dass er es war. Das wäre nämlich zu einfach. Senorita. La, 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 la.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it. The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Mein Leben ist mittlerweile die Hölle. Es ist nicht zu ertragen. Dann hat es verdient zu sterben, aber ich kann es mir nicht verzeihen. Es ist sein Blut an meinen Händen, das Blut an meinen Händen klebt. Wir von der Familie Hamish sind immer Opfer unserer Umstände geworden und ich selbst bilde da keine Ausnahme. Ich muss für meine Sünde büßen und das werde ich hier und jetzt tun. Lebt wohl. Ich glaube das nicht. Der war doch gerade. Bitte.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Ich konnte aufgrund der Intimidation konfus nicht rennen. Von all daher sollten wir herausfinden, ob er genug Zeit hat, die Tür von... Unterhalten Sie sich mit Lestrade über die... Nee, das reicht nicht.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Nix.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
Ja,
So the suicide is questionable?
korrekt.
Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That
Yes.
idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Jo, wusste doch, dass damit
Let us
noch...
analyze the facts and statements, so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
Man Helden sich gegen 9:30 mit Albert im so. Martin Hamish und Hä? Nee, Moment. Ach so. Um ca. 20:10 gingen Hamish und Montague. Um ca. 20:10 gingen Hamish. Moment. Nach 10 Minuten setzen dann seine Installation fort und betrat das Hamish zurück. Starthaus. Das war 20:10 gegen Hamish und Montague in den so 20:10 um ca. 20:10 gegen Hamish in den Hinterhof. Nach 10 Minuten setzte dann seine Reflexion fort und betrat das Wüstenhaus. Zurück ins... Okay, Okay. Martin Hamish hatte um 10 Uhr eine Unterredung mit Miss White. Und Miss White hält sich bis 10 Uhr im Labor auf, bis sie um 10:40 Uhr hat um 10 Uhr eine Unterredung mit Miss White. Miss White hielt sich bis 10:40 Uhr im Labor auf, als sie dann schließlich mit Hamish und Albert und sie und sich ihnen gestellt. Hamish sofort. Halb 11. Albert hielt sich den ganzen Morgen im Satthaus auf. Um 10:10 sah er 10:10. Um 10:10 sah er, wie Hamish
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Nee, Moment, das wollte ich gerade nicht. Ich wollte, so genau. Hat jetzt dann anzuschwimmen. Sie hätte sich verschließen. So. Genau, wir gucken mal, wie sie reagiert. Ob meine Theorie richtig ist, werden wir gleich sehen.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining: the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Jo.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
I am not blaming you, Miss White. You are a young and brilliant woman, trapped in a dull and hostile world. Life has never been easy, men in particular.
You... It is hopeless.
Indeed. Well, it may be true that I cannot yet change the world, but I can spare your life.
My life. There is nothing left to save. I have lost everything. Do you hear me? Everything! And you were just like all the others. You would abuse and take advantage of a vulnerable woman.
I hardly think so. Now just listen to me.
I've tried so hard, but I have had enough.
Miss White, no! I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Fuck. Nein! So. Mein Standard-Ding, wenn es nicht so läuft, wie ich will, in der Sequenz abbrechen. Also von der Reaktion her bin ich mir nicht sicher, ob sie es war. Deswegen, wir gehen einfach mal beide Varianten durch. Einmal Albert, einmal sie. Dann haben wir die Lösung. Ah. Na, 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 na. Gerade einen Moment. Moment. Wir gucken mal, ob er es war. Señorita, la 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 la
It was Albert who assisted Martin Hamish with the murder of his father, Montague Dunn. An act of desperation to end years of misery and humiliation.
Poor boy. You're right, Holmes. He was also a victim. He'll live the rest of his life with the death of his father on his conscience.
And that is enough. The case is closed, Watson. We can say officially that Martin Hamish acted alone.
Ich will wissen, was passiert, wenn ich das Gift ausschlage. Ansonsten kann ich das Ende ja immer noch wählen. Ja, ich will wissen, was passiert, wenn ich es doch schaffen sollte, schnell genug das Gift aus der Hand zu schlagen. Senorita, la 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 la. Jetzt fahren wir durch den ominösen Wald. Senorita, la 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 la.
But Holmes,
Das hatten wir gerade alles schon. Das hatten wir alles gerade schon.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
So.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Das ist wieder so ein Ende, wo man nicht weiß, was ist jetzt die Wahrheit. Okay, und dann war es doch das Richtige. Gut. Senorita, Schüsse beim Mondlicht. Der letzte Mord in der Sache. Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott. Der letzte Fall.
Where are you going, Holmes? Have you been invited somewhere?
We have been invited, Watson.
We have. Where to?
To the Baker Street Irregulars' annual dinner. They sent us an invitation. It is on the table.
A dinner? How could those street urchins afford anything like that? I can't understand your interest in them, Holmes. They're dirty. They wouldn't hesitate to steal your wallet.
Watson, you should be excited. It is a secret dinner. Its location changes every year. Read the menu. Sounds mouth-watering.
All right. We, the secret police of Baker Street, invite you, Sherlock Holmes, and Dr. Watson to our annual dinner. Menu, entree, frozen rat head salad. Is this a joke?
Not at all. Pray continue.
Main course, sow's udder in Danny Nutcracker's way. Ah, sounds disgusting, Holmes. Hedgehog goulash. Street turnips in homemade juice. And it goes on.
Ah, I can hear them on the stairs now.
Well, we can't go there. We can't eat that.
Watson, you'll hurt the feelings of those poor children. We have to go.
Oh, Mr. Holmes.
It is fine, Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, Dr. Watson is getting ready. He will be delighted to join us. You don't look well, my young man. Is there something wrong? Don't tell me the dinner is cancelled.
Mr. Holmes is my brother, Leighton. He's in a prison cell. They say he's killed 2 men. You have to help us, Mr. Holmes, because I know he didn't do it.
Where is he now?
From what I've heard, they took him to the yard, and they gave him a good beating already. You know what they're like. They'll hang him. They won't look any further.
Holmes, we have to help him.
And forget about the dinner? Wiggins, I'll take the case.
You're fantastic, Mr. Holmes. I'll be waiting for you at the crime scene. You'll be there, right? It's on Half Moon Street in Whitechapel.
Natürlich, wo sonst? Wo auch sonst, wenn ich in Whitechapel. Erste Mal, bevor ich jetzt hier irgendwo hinfahre. Erstmal der obligatorische Blick durchs Teleskop. Warum? Warum?
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mock cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister. Hello, Toby.
Was haben wir denn hier? Also bis jetzt habe ich nur eine Sache falsch. Und das ist nämlich das hier. Ärgerlich. Dinge, Senorita. Ah, Briefe, stimmt. Die gibt es ja auch noch. Sehr geehrter Mr. Holmes, mit diesem Brief möchte ich mich herzlich bei Ihnen dafür bedanken, dass Sie diesen schrecklichen Fall gelöst und die Wahrheit aufgedeckt haben. Zuerst konnte ich nicht glauben, dass Miss Margaret White, eine solche außergewöhnliche und wunderschöne Frau, zusammen mit diesem Hamish einen dermaßen fürchterlichen Mord planen und schließlich sogar verüben konnte. Ich war so wütend, aber dann habe ich mich in ihre Lage versetzt und konnte sie in gewisser Weise verstehen. So begabt und fake Miss White auch war, sie konnte ihr Studium offenbar ohne das nötige Geld nicht fortsetzen. Während mein Vater weiterhin ein Lotterleben führte und keinerlei Mitleid zeigte, haben Sie vielen Dank für Ihre Güte gegenüber Margaret. Sie ist nicht mehr hier und ich vermisse sie bereits sehr. Hochachtungsvoll, Albert Dunn. Okay. Nee. Okay. Dann gehen wir erstmal Scotland Yard und gucken, was die zu sagen haben, mitten in der Nacht. Holmes, warum haben Sie mich aufgeweckt? Ich will schlafen. Da ist die Tür. Tschüss. Was? Da ist die Tür. Tschüss.
Mr. Holmes, whatever brings you here so late at night?
I'm interested in the case of young Leighton Chapman. He was arrested earlier this evening and accused of a double murder.
I beg your pardon? That case is quite clear to the police. Or are there any new facts that we don't know about?
Who knows, Inspector?
Look, you are free to investigate, of course, Mr. Holmes. Chapman was arrested with a revolver in his possession, which you can find in the evidence room. The suspect himself is in custody.
Did you find anything else on his person?
A few personal belongings. Nothing particular, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Lestrade.
Was ist das denn? Shapes of Noses. Aha. Recruits wanted. Aha. Ein Revolver. Aha. Eine Karte von London. Aha. Inspektor Lestrade bereitet sich scheinbar auf einen Großangriff Londons vor.
So this is the gun that Leighton was holding when he was caught by the police. It is a Webley revolver, a reliable weapon. It seems as though the shells were not removed from the cylinder. Two out of the 6 shells have been fired. There were 2 shots. A cheap watch, bought with his own money, no doubt. These cigarettes are filled with cheap tobacco. Nothing interesting.
Okay.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Genau.
Good evening, Mr. Chapman.
Good evening.
I've got nothing to say. It's all a mistake.
Calm down, Leighton. I have come here to help you. To find out if you truly are innocent, as your younger brother Wiggins has told me.
My brother? You know him? Then that means you're...
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, blimey. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell you everything.
Gut. Das ist eine Narbe im Gesicht. Remus Lupin, bist du es?
Good. Tell me your account of what happened.
I left my work and I hurried up to see the fireworks in Whitechapel. I was late, so I decided to cut through Half Moon Street. I saw the first fireworks light up in the sky. I bumped into a constable on a corner before entering Half Moon. Then suddenly, what with all the firework flare, I saw 2 men. They were both lying flat in the middle of the street. I stopped where I was. I thought about turning back to the police, but as I was thinking of that, I saw a third person. He was leaning over the body that was furthest from me. The second I saw him, he raised his head and he stared at me. In a flash, I saw his gun, but he made a dash for it instead and he escaped through Whitechapel Street.
So you might still have had time to return to the constable.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, I approached the bodies just to see if they were still alive. I saw that one had blood pumping out of his stomach. He was dying. It was horrible. The second one was already dead. He had a hole in his head.
Oh.
He was holding a gun in his hand, though. I took it, and then I followed the third man.
Interesting. Pray, continue.
I turned a corner, and I saw the man standing in the middle of the street. He seemed to be in some sort of panic. And then, Mr. Holmes, something strange happened. I told the police and they laughed at what I said, but I swear to you, my words are true. I started running towards him. But then I was blinded by a flash. It was so bright that I hardly saw anything for a good dozen seconds. But I kept running forward. As I arrived in Whitechapel, I heard a woman screaming. And then I was caught by the police. But there wasn't a trace of that man. Of course, then they found a gun and all that blood. I couldn't see the murderer escaping and all that mess. Perhaps I was still half-blinded at that moment.
A thrilling account, my young man. Leighton, are you able to describe the person whom you saw standing in Half Moon Street?
Well, I wasn't able to see his face at all. It was too dark, and he was too far away. I could see his silhouette.
And what about that?
Nothing so special. He was wearing a jacket. He was quite average in size and his weight.
I see. Was there anything else that struck you at the time?
No. But perhaps... It's strange, but I can't remember the sound of his footsteps as he was running away. Perhaps it was because of the fireworks or the surprise of me seeing him.
We shall see you soon, young man.
Okay. Verdammt. Kann ich an ihm vorbeigehen?
Mr. Holmes?
Ich bin zu fett für diese Lücke. Ich berühre ihn noch nie mal. Ich will da hoch. The Moonst. Oh. Lawton Chapman ist der ältere Bruder von Wiggins und zwischen 20 und 30 Jahre alt. Er wuchs auf der Straße auf und hitzköpfig wie er war, wanderte er mit einem kriminellen Tat ins Westgate-Gefängnis. Im Moment lebt er nicht mehr auf der Straße und arbeitet vermutlich als Angestellter in einem Londoner Büro. Da wollte ich hin. Zu Half Moon Street. Zu Half Moon Street. Senorita. La 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 la.
Holmes, poor little Wiggins needs our help.
Guten Tag, möchten Sie Käsekuchen kaufen? Nicht? Okay, tschüss. Oh. Sehr, sehr dunkel.
Please, gentlemen, leave the scene now. Oh, Mr. Holmes, is that you?
Good evening, Constable...
Constable Marrow. I was here with Inspector Aberline during the Ripper case, Mr. Holmes, back in '88. But then this is nothing like that case. With this one, we've got the murderer, the weapon, and the statements, which speak for themselves.
Of course, Marrow. But you know that appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Who were the victims?
The two men here, both shot. The stabbed fellow was Brian Vercotti, a well-known ruffian. The other, Kenneth Butler, a jeweller by trade.
You spoke of statements. You have witnesses?
Well, I was there, so I gave my own statement. And then there were two other witnesses who said they saw the killer Chapman. Mr. Turner, a gentleman who lives in that flat over there. And Polly Powell, a flower seller, who was over at the far side of the street.
Aha.
So, Constable Marrow, I should be delighted to hear your testimony.
I was standing at the north side of Half Moon Street. That was the side that you came from.
But you would have been unable to observe this part of the street, where we are standing now.
That is correct. But I saw the two victims slowly enter Half Moon Street, and then shortly after, the fireworks started. A few minutes after that, the fellow Chapman rushed towards me and ran into Half Moon Street.
Please continue.
I didn't pay attention, but suddenly I heard a woman's cries and police whistles on the other side of Half Moon Street. I rushed over there and I saw the two dead bodies on the ground. When I reached Whitechapel Street, I saw Leighton Chapman. He'd been caught by 2 police constables.
Did you hear the shots?
I didn't hear any shots. The fireworks were all over the sky. They were so loud I couldn't hear anything else.
What were the fireworks in honour of, Constable?
Well, today's Queen Victoria's birthday, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, yes, I appear to have lost track of the days. It is May now, of course. Constable Marrow, what else caught your attention while you were running through Half Moon Street?
I saw nothing but rats, and I took the time to light every corner with my lamp.
Did you happen to look up at Mr. Turner's window when you were on Half Moon Street at that time?
Yes, I saw that the window was open, but no one was there. It was dark in the room.
Constable, your statements have been of great value to me.
Irgendwo war doch gerade ein Stab.
A tattoo from Westgate Prison. Vercotti must have done some time there. Brian Vercotti and Leighton Chapman both have identical Westgate Prison tattoos. They were most likely acquainted. Brian Vercotti suffered greatly. What a terrible way to die. He tried to stop the bleeding with his hand. Death was not instant. The bullet penetrated his stomach, a dreadful wound. The bullet struck his head. This man didn't stand a chance. This is an ordinary key. I wonder what kind of door it opens. A piece of wood that has stuck between the cobblestones. Let us take a closer look. This shard of wood is quite new.
Okay. Irgendwo war doch gerade... War hier nicht gerade die Aufschrift Stab?
A fairly long pole with a forked end. Good evening, Mr. Turner.
I heard Constable Marrow reply to you as Mr. Holmes. Are you that detective gentleman? I've heard of you. And, well, I know things about this evening.
Excellent. Might we hear your story?
Erst mal gucken wir ihn uns an.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
I was already in bed when the fireworks started. A few moments after, I clearly heard 2 gunshots from outside.
Please continue.
I quickly got up and I grabbed the lamp from my nightstand and I rushed towards the window. I looked down and I saw 2 bodies. and there was a man with a gun who was standing nearby.
Where exactly?
Well, near this body.
Did he notice you?
I don't think so. He rushed towards Whitechapel Street without looking around.
Mr. Turner, did you see anyone else in the street?
No, I saw no one but that man, the murderer, the fellow they caught.
Were the two shots you heard consecutive?
Yes, there was a very short pause between them, and they sounded different somehow. It seemed to me that the second shot was louder than the first.
That is an interesting comment.
Das stimmt, das passt nicht.
Mr. Turner, what were your actions after you stepped up to the window?
I was afraid that the man with a gun might return, so I stayed close to the window till I saw the policeman coming in the Half Moon from Whitechapel. Then I walked out to tell them everything I saw.
You have helped us a great deal, Mr. Turner.
Nein. Widersprüchliche Aussagen. Doppelmord. Fuck, nochmal. Okay. In Wahrheit 3 Schüsse abgefeuert wurden. Zuerst ein einzelner Schüsse zwischen den
Mr. Holmes, did you see my brother at Scotland Yard? Is he all right?
Jo, ist gut. Half Moon Street.
Mrs. Powell?
What do you want?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the crime that took place this evening.
Well, I've already gave my testimony. Very well.
Could you tell us everything that you may have seen or heard?
Yes. I was selling my flowers as usual. And then the fireworks began, in honour of Queen Victoria. I enjoyed those. But then, all of a sudden, a young lad ran out of Half Moon Street and stopped just by me. He had a gun in his hand. He was like a ghost, and all covered in blood. It was dark, but I could see him, because of the flashes from the fireworks.
And then?
I screamed as loud as I could. I knew that a policeman should be on duty in the vicinity. He had no time to escape. 2 constables got him. Then another constable came out from the very same street, and I heard him talking of a horrible murder.
Mrs. Powell, did you hear the gunshots?
I'm not sure. You know, what with the fireworks?
Did you see anyone else leaving Half Moon Street, prior to or at the time of the crime?
No, sir, I did not. Even with all the fireworks, I was very attentive, as I'm always on the lookout for customers.
My thanks to you, Mrs. Powell.
Da unten. Bah.
I am unable to see any higher. I need to find something to lift my lamp.
So.
This should be useful.
So, dann...
This is most definitely a bullet hole. The brick cracks are fresh. Watson, there was a third shot fired in this street.
So.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Constable Marrow, I would value your assistance in this investigation.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Holmes.
I would like to make sure that there are no places in Half Moon Street where a man could hide while you were running through it with your lamp.
All right, Mr. Holmes, what should I do?
Take your lamp and start walking, just as you did before, and try to find me.
Understood. I shouldn't look for Mr. Holmes here. He's hiding in Half Moon Street.
Ich bin Inspektor, nice. Hello, sir.
I can see you very well, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Wusch. Da ist er ja. Wusch. Hallo. Gefunden.
Here you are, Mr. Holmes.
All right, Constable. Let's try again. I'll find another place to hide.
Also an sich in einem normalen Assassin's Creed ist das ein perfektes Versteck. Hier rechts, hier so um die Ecke. Hello.
Mr. Holmes, it wasn't difficult to find you at all.
It is obvious now. No one could escape Constable Marrow's lamp while hiding in the street.
Das heißt, eine weitere Person am Tatort befallen kann, der sich nach vorne noch in der Straße fliehen. Nach oben. Wir sollten das Ganze nachstellen. Nee. Okay.
Mr. Turner, you have stated that you remained close by your window after the crime. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. I stayed at my window until the policeman arrived to examine the dead bodies.
That is very interesting, Mr. Turner. Constable Marrow stated that he did not see anyone at the window when he was running through Half Moon Street.
Well, I think Constable Marrow and me, we might have been distracted by the whistles and shouts coming from Whitechapel. We could have missed each other somehow. You understand what I mean? It was a bit of a stressful moment, to tell you the truth, sir.
Allow me to form my own theories, Mr. Turner. Would you mind showing me the view that you had from your window?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. Please, follow me.
Mr. Turner appears to live very modestly. This fire is dying out. It was last tended to over an hour ago.
Feuer, Asche, verbrannte Seiten.
The papers are almost entirely burned. I am unable to see what's written here. These words are illegible. The papers were thrown into the fire just a short while ago.
Okie dokie.
The books on this shelf are in a mess. It looks as though Mr. Turner was trying to find something in a hurry here a short while ago.
Ah, was macht denn der Gehstock da?
A perfect match. So, Mr. Turner broke his stick when it became stuck between the cobblestones. He did not mention that he was so near to the victims. So, Mr. Turner was roused from his bed by the sound of gunshots.
Okay.
This kitchen knife is quite sharp.
Küchentisch. Gebrauchsspuren. Zerschnittenes Papier.
There are pieces of shredded paper scattered over the table. This kitchen knife was used to cut the paper.
Was für Papiere auch immer.
So, that's the view Mr. Turner had when he opened the window. The dead body of Kenneth Butler. Mr. Turner had a perfect view of the crime scene. He saw the bodies clearly, and Leighton Chapman standing over them.
Mhm. Moment, das habe ich vergessen. Hier.
So Mr. Turner used a book to hide an object that he found on Kenneth Butler's body. The question is, what did he find?
Das ist eine gute Frage. Bücher. Fettige Fingerabdrücke.
I can see prints from greasy fingers upon the cover of this book. Let us take a closer look.
Moby Dick.
Well now, what a find. A precious jewel concealed inside a book. A bracelet with a unique ram's head design. A distinctive feature of ancient Grecian artifacts, probably of the Hellenistic era.
Senorita, la 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 la.
Mr. Turner, how would it be possible for a man of advanced years, such as yourself, to rush from his bed to the window in a matter of seconds, as you have stated?
Well, I'm able to move very quickly, despite my age. And when the situation requires it, Mr. Holmes.
I highly doubt that, Mr. Turner. I observe that you suffer a severe limp due to your injured right leg. It would have taken at least 10 seconds for you to approach the window. That means you could have easily missed something or someone in Half Moon Street during that time.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I could have missed something. But it did seem to me that everything happened so quickly. Time can pull tricks on you.
And what of everything else that you told us? Mr. Turner, it is vital that we have your complete and true statement.
Mr. Holmes, I do assure you that the other things I said were most sincere.
Mr. Turner, you were not sincere with me. Not then, and not now.
But Mr. Holmes...
This, Mr. Turner, does not look like anything that a poor man might possess. It is worth more than the home that you live in.
I can explain.
No, merely correct me if I am wrong. You saw Leighton Chapman through the window, but you also noticed a glittering object on the ground, this precious jewel. You walked down and took the bracelet from the body of Kenneth Butler, and when you heard the whistles, you hurried away. That broke your walking stick. It caught fast between the cobbles. Constable Marrow was unable to see you in the window, as you were climbing up the stairs on your way back to your flat. Upon returning home, you hid the precious jewel inside a book.
Mr. Holmes, please don't send me to prison. I didn't do anything bad. I'm just a poor man. When I chanced upon the bracelet, I saw it as an opportunity to make a little money. I was desperate. I only took the bracelet, that's all, I swear.
You made a mistake by lying to me. But you are not a criminal. I believe that. Although I must return this bracelet to its rightful owner.
Gibt nichts Neues. Nein!
I wish this crime had never happened, Mr. Holmes.
Äh, 60 Jahre alt und ein Veteran im Krieg, worauf er stolz ist, sehr stolz ist. Wurde er im Krieg. Okay.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Jo. Dann gehen wir erstmal zur Baker Street und gucken, woher der Armreif kommt. Señorita, la 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 la.
That is not the one I need.
Diese wunderschönen antiken Schmuckstücke sind ein Teil der Sammlung, die als hellenistische Schätze bekannt geworden ist. Auf dem Bild sind 5 Widderköpfe aus der Amra-Falzkette und Ring bestehen. Alles aus purem Gold. Die 5 Widder von Mytilini sind seit 1885 verschwunden.
Here it is. I need to continue my research in my archives.
Hä? Mhm. 85. Die heimtückische Diebstahl. Gestern Abend wurden die sogenannten hellenistischen Schätze gestohlen, als sie gerade in einer Kutsche vom Britischen Museum zur Glasfurt-Ausstellung der feinen Künste transportiert wurden. Kenneth Butler, der Inhaber eines Pfandhauses, meldete sich bei Scotland Yard und gab an, dass ein Mann versucht habe, in seinem Pfandhaus Church Street seine Sammlung historischer Kunstwerke zu verkaufen. Danach gelang es der Polizei, den beschriebenen Mann zu verhaften. Ein professioneller Dieb namens Vincent Foley, der gerade dabei war, London über den Hafen zu verlassen. Er wurde vom Fahrer der Kutsche identifiziert, in der die hellenistischen Schätze transportiert worden waren. Vincent Foley weigerte sich, Angaben nur den Verbleib des restlichen Diebesguss zu machen. Kurz darauf wurde er ins Gefängnis gebracht. Die gestohlenen Kunstschätze sind weiterhin verschwunden.
Here it is. One of the victims, Kenneth Butler, was involved in the story of the stolen Hellenistic treasures. A visit to his pawn shop should tell me more.
Aber erstmal gehen wir zu Scotland Yard und befragen den Herrn wegen seinem Tattoo. Senorita. La 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 la. Mein Ohr juckt.
Mr. Holmes?
Please.
Da hatten wir ja schon alles.
Leighton, I confess I am puzzled. Why should a young lad like you take a gun from the hands of a dead man and set off in pursuit of a probable killer?
I know. I keep wondering that, but at the time it was like a reflex. A criminal ought to be arrested, and he was armed.
You were willing to risk your life. That was a little foolish, unless you wanted revenge.
No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid. No, Mr. Holmes. I was just being brave and stupid.
Ja.
I'm sure that you were, but I believe that you may have recognized one of the victims, Brian Vercotti. You knew that gentleman well, did you not?
However could you know that?
You have a typical tattoo of the Westgate Brotherhood upon your hand. I observed exactly the same mark upon Mr. Vercotti. You came to know him from your sharing a past prison sentence. Am I correct, Mr. Chapman?
Oh, God. You're right, Mr. Holmes.
Would you tell me a little about Brian Vercotti?
We were convicted for a robbery. Once in prison, both of us joined one of these fraternities. During that year, we tried to help each other out, you know?
You were quite young then, I believe.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we were. We'd only stolen a pound of meat. After we were released, and when I saw what my little brother had become, I decided to work towards living an honest life.
And Vercotti?
He had a hard time. His sister had died in a Whitechapel dispensary while he was in prison. He had no family anymore. Our paths split. He fell back into crime.
So you lost him?
Yes. And for around 2 years, I heard no news of him at all.
We shall see.
Für total verrechnete Zeiten. Nein, 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 nein. Auf zum Pfand aus! Auf jeden Fall bequem sieht die Kutsche nicht aus. Genau, er steht außerhalb der Tür.
The door is locked, but I won't try to pick it. There are people directly behind me. Mr. Butler's key matches the lock perfectly.
What do we have
These
here?
tools are exactly what I need to climb the wall.
Haben wir hier sonst noch irgendwas?
A flare pistol. Perhaps it was pawned by a destitute sailor. This is exactly what we need in order to imitate the flash of the fireworks.
Da.
It looks as though Mr. Butler kept a careful record of his operations. The ram's heads. This necklace belongs to the 5 Rams of Mittelin collection. Interesting. That means that Kenneth Butler owned a part of this collection all this time, 10 years after the theft.
Hallo Kenneth, du hattest mir einmal von 3 goldenen Schmuckstücken mit Widderköpfen erzählt aus dem alten Griechenland. Du hast die doch noch, oder? Dann kann ich eine tolle Neuigkeit gibt's eine tolle Neuigkeit für dich. Ich habe da einen Typen an der Leine, der den ganzen Schmuck unbedingt haben will. Er ist weiter für ein kleines Vermögen hinzublättern. Ich kann dieses Treffen zwischen dir und diesem wandelnden Geldbeutel arrangieren, aber ich verlange Provision. Ich werde Sonntagabend in der Ecke Greed Alley Street und Half Moon Street auf dich warten. Vor dem Feuerwerk. Brian Vacotti. Der Verbrechen des alten 7 Half Moon Street und ich an. Auf zur Half Moon Street. The dead bodies are away.
What's up with you, lad? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for my brother to be released.
Your brother?
The one that you caught, beat up and imprisoned.
Ah, the murderer.
He ain't killed no one, copper.
Watch your mouth, lad, else you'll be joining that worthless brother of yours.
Das wollte ich nicht. Ich wollte eigentlich das hier. Mit dem Constable.
Constable Marrow, Watson. I would like to perform another kind of reenactment with your help.
I'm listening, Mr. Holmes.
I want to check if Leighton's testimony can be trusted. If someone could vanish into thin air at a specific moment.
But Holmes, I don't see how.
I am going to be the mysterious gentleman whom Leighton followed. I will stand exactly where he saw him before he was blinded by the flash. Watson, you will be Leighton. When I fire the signal flare, you should start to chase me.
I understand, Holmes.
You, Constable Marrow, just play your part and do exactly as you did. Just, please, wait 5 seconds after the signal flare. I doubt that Polly Powell would have screamed any earlier.
As you say, Mr. Holmes.
Let us begin, then. Catch me if you can.
Catch me if you can. No. Okay. Moment. Also wenn ich hier lang rennen würde.
This wall is cast in shadow. It would be difficult to see anyone scaling it.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there?
I should try climbing faster.
Drück doch X! Ich habe R2 gedrückt!
Holmes? Are you there?
I should try climbing faster.
Ich habe L2 gedrückt!
Holmes? Are you there?
I should try climbing faster.
I can barely see anything. Holmes? Are you there? Where is he? My God, a man can't just disappear like that. Holmes? Holmes? Where are you?
I cannot see you, Mr. Holmes. Dr. Watson, it seems that Mr. Holmes has disappeared.
Don't worry, gentlemen. I am up here, above your heads.
How on earth did you get up there, Holmes?
I am using crampons and a climbing axe, although the person we are looking for did not leave any traces of such tools. Constable, is there any way to get to the top of this building?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I can show you. The door to the building can be found from Whitechapel Street.
Gentlemen, I am on my way down.
Hallo, möchten Sie Käsekuchen?
This is the back door of the building with the attic floor that you required, Mr. Holmes.
Aha! Jackett. Abgetragener Stoff. Schwarze Fasern.
A cluster of thick black threads. They're unusually strong. I should examine them under the microscope. Someone broke through the window to get inside the attic, but in his haste he ripped his jacket.
Da unten. Raubmord. Ja, sonst ist hier aber nichts, oder? Oder ist hier noch irgendwas? Entschuldigung. Auf zur Baker Street. Señorita.
Let us take a closer look. It is not a thread, but a hair. I very much doubt that it is human. I need to compare this sample with a human hair and a horse hair. A shaving brush is usually made from horsehair. Watson, could you please pass me your shaving brush?
Here you are.
Watson, look, what's outside the window?
Well, I don't see anything. Ouch! Holmes!
Oh, don't make such a fuss. One little hair. Human hair is significantly thinner than the black sample. This is a most unusual hair. The horsehair is thinner than the hair that we found. So, this black hair belongs to an animal, and it is larger than a horse. A hair from a large and exotic animal.
Okay. 11 zur Half Moon Street. Señorita, la 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 la. Señorita, la 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 la.
Why are you looking at me all the time like that?
I'm just watching you, lad. I never know what to expect from people like you.
People like me?
Yes, street beggars and thieves.
I ain't a thief.
Oh, no? Then where did you get whatever it is that you're gnawing on? I very much doubt that you bought it.
What ain't seen can't hardly be stolen.
Ach ja. Hier muss noch irgendwas sein.
These shards of glass are from the window above. We can conclude that the person whom Leighton saw climbed up the wall, broke into the attic window, and escaped through the hatch.
Sonst scheint hier nichts zu sein. Eine Person fehlt ja noch. Die da.
Such a young man, and already a murderer.
Locked. Locked.
Locked. You know it's locked.
I'll do anything to save my brother, Mr. Holmes.
It would be my pleasure to assist you with your investigation, Mr. Holmes.
Ein fähiger Akrobat und sich what we can do now.
Mr. Holmes?
We have good news for you, Wiggins. The investigation has proven very interesting so far. We found facts and details that confirm your brother's innocence.
I knew it, Mr. Holmes.
But for now, Wiggins, we need your help.
Anything you like, Gov.
I need you to locate a circus that has stopped over in London. It needs to have disposed of at least one exotic animal. A very large one.
You can count on me, Mr. Holmes.
Mit schwarzen Haaren. Ich fahre mal wieder Kutsche. Sehr wackelig. Sehr früh am nächsten Morgen. Guten Morgen, guten Tag, mein Name ist Holmes, ich bin müde. Tschüss, das ist der.
I do hope that those children don't get into trouble, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. I predict some news in 7 seconds.
Mr. Holmes, we found it. Here it is.
And this is a young Indian elephant, the highlight of the show. Duval Brothers, a well-known travelling circus that is currently stopped in London. I believe that is exactly the type of circus we are looking for. I'll pay it a visit.
Circus de Vulpros. Ich fahre wieder Kutsche. Aber nicht so lange. Senorita. La, 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 la.
Hey, you! Stop right there.
Good morning, sir. Pardon me, but why am I not allowed to walk around here?
Because it's private.
Well, I only wanted to meet the artistes.
Hmm? You're wanting to apply for... Nah. You don't look like the type of, artistic lockpicker that we're looking for.
You might be surprised.
What? Nah. I don't think so. Clear off. You're a bit slow to catch on, eh? Get lost. You're a bit slow to catch on, eh? Get lost.
Okay. Dann bekleide ich mich eben. Ningel, 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 nörgel, nörgel, nörgel. Vom Zirkusdirektor. Ningel, ningel, ningel. Nörgel, nörgel, nörgel. No, señorita. zum Schminktisch. Nee, nee, nee. Warum?
Hello, Toby. All you need now is a shawl and a mock cap, and you could be Mrs. Hudson's younger sister.
Das ist eigentlich eine Beleidigung.
Spectacles are unpopular among thugs. I don't want to arouse suspicion.
Okay, dann halt keine Brille.
Stay where you are. What are you doing here, and where is Sherlock Holmes?
Calm down, Watson. Take deep breaths now. It's me.
Oh, thank God, Holmes. I can't get used to your disguises.
Thank you, Watson. That means I am ready to go.
Also für mich ist er egal. Let's go. Let's fetz, voll Fahrt. Hopp, aus der Tür. Auf dem Zirkus. Ne, Senorita. La 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 la. Ich hab diesen verdammten Ohrwurm. La 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 la.
Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Nigel. I'm here to open the locks.
Talented, eh? Let's see. Go inside the marquee and show yourself to Charles Foley. And I'd highly advise you not to trick him. Got that?
I've got it.
Charles Foley is inside the marquee.
Okay. Unverdächtige Untersuchungen durchführen. Hallo. Guten Tag, möchte jemand Käsekuchen kaufen? Scheinbar nicht.
So, everything is here, just as you asked. But what about the money?
Some of the barrels are wet.
Transportation issues, it couldn't be helped.
Whatever. We'll be here after midnight to pick up the supplies.
I want to be paid first.
No. You'll be paid after we make the transfer, as I said.
Right.
I hope that no one saw you. The police are on the lookout.
Of course not. I'm a professional.
Glad to hear it. Be ready for tonight, then.
This wooden barrel is damaged. It is difficult to say what is inside. There is a spot on this barrel that was intentionally painted out. The crest of the Honourable Artillery Company. Could it be gunpowder? I need to be sure.
Paper, no.
Judging by the fractions and the scent, I can confirm that it is, in fact, gunpowder.
Okay.
The barrels are roughly clustered. It seems as though they were brought here in a hurry.
Okay.
From lambs into lions. Those are words of encouragement and defiance. That's a picture of a contemporary gentleman wearing a Robin Hood hat. Interesting. This poster was clearly made to fire up rebellion amongst the people. This printing press is old, but still quite capable of printing hundreds of pages per day. There are enough posters to paste across half of London's walls. Powder kegs, a printing press, and a great many blank papers. All of this was stolen by the Merry Men quite recently. And these poster samples. I am quite sure it is not a coincidence. The Merry Men are planning some sort of sabotage.
Stop right there. Who are you?
Are you Charles Foley?
Maybe.
They say that I can open any door.
Do they now? We'll see that lock near the chains on a table over there. Open that.
Okay. No. Bandana.
Are you still tampering with that lock?
Also. Okay. So,
I need to find out what's behind this Charles Foley.
And the last one. Charles Foley ist ein Mitglied und zugleich der Direktor des Circus Duvel Bros. Er ist ein begabter Akrobat und Fähigkeiten aktiv trainiert. Foley ist ein abergläubischer Mensch. Er ist bewaffnet und gefährlich und er mag es, Schmuck zu tragen. Okay.
Charles Foley is inside the marquee.
Ja, ja. Ah, yes.
Ah. Well, they're right. What's your name?
Nigel Shirley, from York.
Ah, Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
Nein!
Ah, Nigel from York. Never heard anything about you. How'd you hear about me?
It's a long story. I met your brother, Vincent the Butcher Foley, in prison. He told me all about his betrayal and all about you. Before I was released, he told me that you might find a job for me one day and pay me some money for me craft.
Well, he died 7 days ago in prison.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. The traitor has paid the blood price for it. And you'll do the job anyway, because I need a talented lockpicker. I know just where to search for his legacy.
It's all about the Hellenistic treasures, isn't it?
Osh, you fool. Now, listen up. You'll come with us tonight, and you better mind yourself.
Us? Wait, who's coming then?
Billy, Jack and me.
And what will I get for that?
We'll share the loot. The one you seem to know about.
Right.
Wait for us at the abandoned manor house on the corner of Ladbroke Grove and Kensington Park Road at midnight.
Deal.
Okay. Auf zum Nottingham Herrenhaus. No, 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 no. Senorita.
Here I am at the manor. Somewhere inside it are the Hellenistic treasures. This lock is quite old. It shouldn't be much of a challenge. I need to find where the safe is hidden and lockpick it. This cupboard is an absolute mess. Several books have fallen from the shelves. It seems as though this cupboard can be moved. I'll give it a try. So, that's the lock I must open tonight. Let me see.
Oh Gott. Okay.
What a surprise. Another lock. And I won't be able to pick it. I recall that precious key around Foley's neck. It might prove a decent fit. I suppose they hired me to only open the first lock. Let us wait for the thieves, trap them, and find out. Let us check the thieves' possible escape routes in the event that they are caught off guard by the police from the front door. This door is a perfect means of escape in an emergency. This door leads to a kitchen, which holds the shortest route to the back door. This chair is very solid and well made. This should be useful.
Okay.
A solid rope. The door is now blocked.
The
ground floor window is a perfect way to escape the police. I wonder what this old chandelier is doing on the floor. It looks as though it was poorly attached. I suppose that the thieves already tried to open the lock with this formidable hammer, but they were unsuccessful. This should be useful. If anyone takes the hammer, the rope will uncoil and make the chandelier fall. If he runs through the dining room and takes a sledgehammer to force open the door, the chandelier will knock him down.
Okay.
Although this window is high above the ground, it would be possible for one of the thieves to attempt to use it for their escape. This is the perfect place to set a trap.
Okay.
A simple but rather attractive bead necklace. This should be useful. One step on these beads and our thief will go flying. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined. Any thief who finds his way upstairs will roll down very quickly.
So, was machen wir mit diesem verdammten Fenster?
That is quite a heavy cupboard. This works very well. No one will escape through this window now. This hatch leads to a cellar. There is no ladder. If anyone falls here, he will need assistance to get out.
Was könnte hier noch sein?
Oh, that's a lovely old carpet. This should be useful.
Genau, pack den Teppich ein.
Now, it's not an open hatch, just a nice carpet on the floor. I should walk carefully here, else my plan will be ruined. Now, if a thief runs through the kitchen, he'll pay a surprise visit to the cellar. The traps for my circus companions are all prepared. I can leave now, but I'll return later with Charles Foley and his companions.
Okay. Let's go. Let's aufklären the Mord. Du, 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 du. Senorita.
Police! Police!
Stop where you are!
Where are they?
Trapped, Watson, with your assistance.
How so?
Oh, you sounded just like a real Bobby, my dear fellow. You startled them into the traps.
I did?
I assure you, Watson, it was quite an entertaining show. They will not escape the house now.
You scum!
And this is the pistol used for the murder in Half Moon Street.
How'd you know about that?
Have you closed the case yet, Sherlock?
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Did you follow me?
Sherlock, it may seem that I used you, but you should be pleased to know that you have served our queen well, in this instance. So now, let us catch the big fish. But this man is not one of the merry men?
No.
Then why exactly are we here, Sherlock?
This gentleman, Charles Foley, has been involved in a double murder, and the hunter of a set of valuable antiques, the Hellenistic treasures, which disappeared in a theft many years ago.
You're no better than the coppers.
Du bist kein besser. Bin ich besser als die Bullen. Nü. What we have here?
Holmes, that is incredible. The Hellenistic treasures.
Indeed.
Nothing but trifles. Where are the merry men?
I don't know why you are asking me, Mycroft. They are yours to find.
I'll see you soon, dear brother.
Dear brother. No.
What a beautiful...
Don't move, you flim-flammer.
What a beautiful collection of art. It was thought lost.
Foley's Rache. Ach, doch, wir machen Gnade. Ich bin ein guter Mensch. Ja, ich glaube an das Gute im Menschen. Ja.
Charles Foley, you were a witness to a double murder. You were standing next to Vercotti when Butler fired at your accomplice. The jeweler missed him, but they proceeded to kill each other with simultaneous shots. Even if your intention was to retrieve the stolen treasure, you did not intend to kill. I shall inform Inspector Lestrade of that fact, so your sentence should be the lighter.
You are a fine gentleman, with your fake pity.
I do what I think is right. It is never due to pity. Farewell, Foley. I shall leave now, Watson. Gentlemen, please take our friends here into custody.
Where are you going?
I have unfinished business. I'll see you at Baker Street.
Wo fährt er hin? Man weiß es nicht. Senorita. La 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 la.
Be careful with the lamps. Don't bring them too close to the barrels.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Who's there?
That is of no importance. What matters is who you are and the plans that you have here.
So you can stop us from carrying them out?
Eventually, yes.
Hey, careful. You'll blow us all up.
I'm listening.
We are a group known as the Merry Men. But I suppose you knew that already.
We are the men who've already lost everything of value in their lives. We are ruined shopkeepers. We are workers who were fired from their jobs. Honest people who were robbed. We were forced out from our homes and thrown onto the street. And all of this in the name of the so-called law. The laws that were set out by our government. The laws that make the commoners only more vulnerable and the wealthy more protected. We are not only from the British Empire. Some of us are from the new lands, America, Australia, and we are many. But men we are still, and we are merry for that we stopped being afraid. For those powers that be had done their best to plant the fear inside our souls, and we accepted it so easily. The fear advised us to keep our heads bowed. It prevented us from fighting. Bankers and politicians, they own our lives, our work, our bread, and they push us to compete between each other, just to see who may serve them better. But in the end, they are the few, so they are weak. They are nothing without their titles. We should not fear them. Our so-called masters should fear us instead. The time has come for our group to stand tall. Our great and many merry men. We are going to blow up the London Stock Exchange. No life shall be lost. But ownerships, debts, and property titles? They shall all be destroyed. They're only papers, after all. So many people will be freed over this night.
That is a radical step to take. What result do you truly expect?
Chaos. But soon people will understand that they are free, and that they don't belong to anyone. They will be able to work for themselves, together, without letting the rulers dictate what to do, and finally justice will arise.
What you are intending to do is a crime. It is not justice.
How do you see justice, then? Kids go to prison for a loaf of dry bread. And how many lords do you see punished for stealing from their people? Sending them to their deaths in mines, or overseas to fight for land? Our masters wouldn't hear us. So now it's time to sing the song of the merry men. Will you let us do our duty?
Ich möchte speichern. Weil einerseits haben sie ja recht, aber andererseits auch nicht. Und das würde mehr Nachteile als Vorteile bringen, glaube ich. Deswegen.
When people fight the order, they are too blind to see the consequences that throw society into chaos. I shall stop your actions, but not you. Run. Now!
Puff. Sherlock Holmes ist tot. Die sind tot. Das ist nicht tot, sondern einfach nur kaputt.
So, you're interested in Russian literature now?
Quite, lately.
It is an interesting book. I remember a few lines.
Really? I tried reading it myself, but I had a hard time understanding it.
Yes, Doctor. It's about intelligence. Sherlock, I vaguely recall one of the lines. Sometimes it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. There were also a few words along the lines of pain and suffering are always inevitable for a large intelligence and a deep heart. Tell me, Doctor, does my brother show any signs of pain or suffering?
Not that I know of.
Because you see, Doctor, behind all of his masquerade, my brother does possess a deep heart. So deep that he does not recall where he places his love.
Well, I'm sure that...
His love and his duty that in the first place, should be directed towards the Empire. For without it, we would be nothing. A country filled with uncivilized men.
And the Empire needs order and discipline. It has no room for chaos.
People who commit crimes, or at the very least intend them, deserve punishment, Sherlock. Without justice, there can be no civilization.
But we serve the truth, not justice.
Your truth, Doctor, that may prove immoral. Allowing people to terrorize London, destabilizing the whole empire.
Terrorize only the powers whom you serve, Mycroft. Not I, not Watson, not Mrs. Hudson, not Wiggins.
Sherlock, the merry men are to be stopped.
Not by me. You created the merry men. Stop them yourself. Only make sure that you don't create 10 more merry men by arresting the one.
Good night, Dr. Watson.
Anything in the post, Watson? Any clients worthy of our attention?
Only a second reminder from Mrs. Hudson about our new neighbour. She urges you to remove your...
Oh, I don't care about that.
Holmes, the lady who will be moving in shortly has requested the use of our spare room to place all of her boxes.
Wait, what? A lady?
Oh, richtig, sehr gut. Ja, ich bin ein edler Samariter. So bin ich. Nee. Das war's jetzt nun also mit Sherlock Holmes. Crimes and Punishments. Das war das Einzige, wo ich mich fehlentschieden habe. Ich mag die Musik. Genau, das war's auf jeden Fall mit Sherlock Holmes Crime and Punishment, seine Focus Home Interactive Production. Also Sherlock Holmes Games. Sehr, sehr schön. Ich sag, der zweite Teil gefällt mir ein bisschen besser, aber an sich doch, ja, war ein sehr, sehr schönes Spiel. Und aus meiner Sicht, wer Sherlock Holmes mag, Krimi-Geschichten mag und mal was für Spannung braucht. Weil Sherlock Holmes ist ein perfektes Spiel zum Entspannen, zum Nachdenken, zum Grübeln. Da ist nicht viel Action. Da ist nicht viel Point-and-Click. Nicht Point-and-Click. Da ist nicht viel Jumpscares oder nicht viel Action. Das ist einfach mal Entspannung. Und auch an sich ist es, finde ich es gut, dass es quasi Deutsch der Untertext ist und Englisch, wenn Holmes spricht. Das insgesamt gefällt mir doch sehr, hat mir sehr, 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 sehr gut gefallen. Und ja, ich finde nur, aber das haben sie im zweiten Teil besser gemacht, dass man halt hier zum ersten Teil nicht wirklich rumrennen konnte in der Außenwelt und sich Sachen angucken konnte. Die Credits waren kurz. Kommt noch irgendwas? Nö, oder? Kommt noch irgendwas? Kommt noch irgendwas nach den Credits? Kommt noch irgendwas? Fortfahren. Was passiert jetzt? Fährt die Kamera jetzt nur durch die Gegend oder passiert da noch irgendwas? Und die Anmerkung vorhin mit der Dame, das war übrigens die Andeutung auf Sherlock Holmes, Devils Daughter, was wir ja schon gespielt haben. Und gestreamt haben. Ich habe quasi die falsche Reihenfolge gestreamt, aber an sich, die haben so viel Andeutungen gemacht von Sherlock Holmes, Jack the Ripper, dass man das eigentlich auch noch spielen müsste. Mal gucken, ob ich das irgendwo im PS4 Store finde. Weil an sich, die Geschichte hinter Jack the Ripper fasziniert mich. Ich glaube, da passiert nichts mehr. Ich habe jetzt mal... Oh. Passiert noch irgendwas? Aufgabe, Crimes and Punishments. Baker Street. Edler Samariter! Sagt, bis auf das hier habe ich alles richtig. Das freut mich so sehr. Aber nee, ich glaube, das war es auf jeden Fall. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis Dienstag, weil ich dann anfange zu streamen. Weiß ich noch nicht. Vielleicht Outlast. Vielleicht überwinde ich meinen Schatten. Mal gucken. Bis dann. Ciao und gute Nacht.